Robert De Niro, the Academy Award-winning movie star, just showed up to Donald Trump's criminal trial in Manhattan.
You're not going to intimidate. That's what Trump does, to try to intimidate. We're fight back. You're washed up. We're trying to do it. We're trying to be gentlemen in this world, the Democrats. You are gangsters. You are gangsters.
You can see how some of the deck has been stacked against Donald Trump. The jury, of course, largely from, or all from Manhattan, 90% of which voted for Joe Biden. We know that, too. So the cake is baked on the biases here. The American people, though, fundamentally, they like and want fairness. If they perceive this to be unfair, it's going to blow up in the Democrats' face. And now you have Joe Biden saying he's going to comment on this trial from the White House. Not to mention the fact he went out today and had like a campaign rally with Robert De Niro kind of brushing Trump back and trying to go after Trump. He has made this political, a massive misstep by the Biden campaign and the Biden White House. It reeks of unfairness. The American people reject that in all forms.
Hogan Gidley, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks, one of the very few leftists who I can say actually still has some common sense, okay? I mean, she is a progressive, but she's not one of these insane Looney Tunes progressives that support destruction and chaos in order to push their communist agenda, okay? It seems as if she actually really is somebody that is somewhat of a critical thinker, okay? Again, I can't say that a lot when it comes to people on the left. And in this video right here, she is going to react to the Biden administration hiring Robert De Niro to speak outside of the Trump hush money trial. Again, a story that we've covered here already. But again, the Young Turks are reacting to this. And Anna is going to take issue with the Biden administration and their strategy of rolling out this Trump deranged actor to attack Trump outside of the hush money trial, and the rhetoric coming from Democrats, because we all know that they're desperate, okay? And this trial is not really having an impact that they thought that it would. So for whatever reason, they thought it was a good idea to roll out Robert De Niro to try to, I don't know, convince people to vote against Trump and to vote for Biden. But again, nobody actually gives a damn about this trial. And I don't think the outcome of this trial, whether Trump is found guilty, not guilty, or if there's a hung jury, it seems like that's in play, okay, as things are going right now. I don't think it's really going to make a difference.
Think Trump did something illegal in the New York hush money case. I've been interested in whether or not these numbers would change at all during the course of this trial. Simply put, John, they have not. Pre-opening statements think Trump did something illegal, 46%. After the direct examination of Michael Cohen by the prosecution, look at where we are now, 46%. The percentage of Americans who think that the charges are very serious, in fact, dropped from 40% to a little bit more than 35% during the course of this trial. So, yes, perhaps things might have changed with those 12 jurors, but when it comes to the larger American public, there has been no change, at least so far, John.
Any possible reasons why?
Yeah, I think the question is, what's exactly cooking here? Why hasn't there been much of a change? Well, folks like you and me, real news junkies, might be paying really close attention to what's going on. The fact is, most Americans don't really care that much. So closely following news about economy inflation, that's number one at 65%. Look at immigration, 52%. Election legitimacy, 49%. Abortion, 47%. All the way down on this list of issues tested by the Ipsos Knowledge Panel is Trump's court cases at 42%, significantly less than economy and inflation. The fact is, John, when we're looking at these numbers, what we see is Americans' minds aren't changing, and a big reason why Americans' minds aren't changing is at this particular point, John, they are tuned out of the conversation.
You say folks like you and me. I'm not sure there are very many folks exactly like you, Harry.
No.
But I take your point on that.
No.
In terms of the general election matchup right now, how do things look there?
Yeah, just, quickly here, John, I'll just point out the Biden versus Trump margin, perhaps not a big surprise. Donald Trump had a slight lead, before the trial began. Now he continues to have a slight lead. Look, it's still very much a winnable race for Joe Biden, but at this particular point, that Trump train that's been moving faster than it's ever moved before in a general election doesn't show any signs of slowing down, despite the criminal indictments against him, despite the fact that this case in New York is now going to the jury, John.
Yeah. So again, what you can see here, and this is what CNN is admitting, that, hey, this trial doesn't really matter. Nobody gives a damn about this when you're talking about the economy being in the condition that it is in right now. Okay. People's lives are objectively worse under Biden than they were under Trump's. And the fact is that Biden's not really focused on that, right? He's speaking about a whole bunch of stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with how people are living and their quality of life. And again, Anna Kasparian is going to go off on the fact that the Biden camp sent out Robert De Niro to do Biden's dirty work when, again, he's not really speaking to any of the other issues that are going on in this country because he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any solutions at all. And this is why they continue to roll with this nonsense. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Today, the Biden campaign sent actor Robert De Niro to deliver a speech outside of Trump's hush money trial outside of the courtroom, after which, of course, De Niro got into a bit of a verbal brawl with a Trump supporter. Now, De Niro, as many of you probably already know, has been an incredibly vocal critic of Donald Trump's for years, but recently linked up with the Biden campaign, going so far as to record this ad for them.
From midnight tweets to drinking bleach to tear gassing citizens and staging a photo op. We knew Trump was out of control when he was president. Then he lost the 2020 election and snapped, desperately trying to hold on to power. Now he's running again, this time threatening to be a dictator, to terminate the Constitution.
If I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Trump wants revenge, and he'll stop at nothing to get it.
Now, outside of the trial today, De Niro did more of his usual hyperbolic rhetoric about how Trump could, in his words, destroy the entire world. Let's take a look at that, and I want to get your thoughts.
Notice how she said hyperbolic, right? Notice how she said hyperbolic. Again, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is the difference between somebody like an Anna Kasparian and a Charlamagne the God, a Stephen A. Smith, or a Bill Maher, right? All three of those individuals actually really do believe that Trump is a threat to destroy the entire world, right? But anybody with two brain cells to rub together that's not severely Trump deranged knows that that's just simply not the case. It didn't happen under his administration. In fact, the world got more peaceful during his administration, okay? So again, when you have people like Robert De Niro coming out here and saying crazy stuff like this, it makes you roll your eyes because it's like, well, none of these things happened in his first term. What are you talking about, right? What exactly are you talking about? And I'm glad that, again, Anna is picking up on this.
I love this city. I don't want to destroy it. Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. I don't mean to scare you. No, wait, maybe I do mean to scare you. If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave.
So, Cenk, the Biden camp has wanted to distance itself from these trials and indictments because they don't want these cases to appear politically motivated. But now you have Biden essentially sending De Niro out there, or the Biden camp sending De Niro out there to politicize the trial, right? And so do you think that this is a smart move, or does it scream desperation?
Mixed bags. The overall picture is really important. De Niro is a part of it. So guys, on the one hand, saying that Biden is politicizing the trial is a little absurd because Trump has had his political surrogates there for weeks now. They're all dressed like Trump, like these morons. They're like, I will now speak for Trump. I will try to look like Trump. And soon they're going to start spray painting their face orange to look more like him. So the Trump team politicized this trial 200 times already. So now they're crocodile tears. I can't believe Biden is politicizing the trial. Get out of here, okay? The incompetent.
Well, again, Cenk, the difference is that Trump is the defendant, right? And as the defendant, he can have people speak for him and to give their opinions about the trial. I mean, since they basically placed a gag order on Trump, he can't even give his own opinions. But, I mean, him saying that it's politically motivated, that he believes that this is happening because he was the former president of the United States and Democrats are going after him, there's nothing wrong with that. He's actually a part of the case and the trial, right? He's actually a part of it. Biden claims to not have anything to do with it, right? So if you're claiming not to have anything to do with it, and that you're not a part of it, that is not politically motivated, and then you come out here and you send your team to the trial in order to trash Trump and to pressure the jury to convict the former president of the United States, then now you are a part of it, right? You're now showing that, yeah, we definitely got a stake in this and we want this man to be convicted. You're openly saying that as the president of the United States, right? This is what you're saying, which again was a terrible move for Joe Biden to make, because now it makes a conviction, if Trump actually is found guilty, it makes it less damaging. I don't think it was going to be damaging regardless, but this basically almost guarantees that a lot of people are going to say, okay, well, this is political. Biden officially got involved. It was an extremely dumb move, and what Cenk here is doing is that he's creating a false equivalence. Biden is not involved, right? Or he said he wasn't involved. Trump is a defendant, so he is involved. So him coming out and commenting on the trial and saying that it's political, or surrogates commenting on the trial on his behalf and saying that it's political, that's different than the actual Biden campaign coming out here and to now get involved in something that they're not involved with at all, or they claim they're not involved with. Those are two different things. But again, Cenk is too dumb to see the difference, right? He always wants to create this equivalence. Well, Trump did it, right? It was like, well, it's not exactly the same thing.
Merrick Garland started the other cases against Trump so late that they will likely not happen before the election. This might be the only trial that happens before the election. And what De Niro and the Biden team said today was, well, we're only here not for the trial, but because all the news organizations are here. And so they've been doing political press conferences this entire time. So we're gonna do one too. So overall, no problem in my mind for the way I think about things, no problem, I would have done it earlier, okay? And I wouldn't care that they're saying I'm politicizing it, who cares? You have to keep screaming your message out. You have to get your message out. And what the Biden team is realizing from a different article we'll cover later in the show today is, oh, right, we forgot to get our message out.
But I totally disagree. So I'm gonna read an excerpt from the Associated Press's reporting on this, okay? So bear with me. Biden sending De Niro there is described as a sharp about face for Biden's team, which had largely ignored the trial since it began 6 weeks ago and is now looking to capitalize on its drama-filled closing moments, sending the Goodfellas actor, Robert De Niro, of course, and the first responders who were at the Capitol on January 6th, basically there to do this whole press conference and make a point about how Trump is a threat to democracy. But this is the part that really stood out to me in the AP's reporting. They ultimately decided to engage because its message about the stakes of the election was struggling to break through the intense focus on the trial. Guys, all we hear from the Biden camp is the stakes of this election. Oh, democracy's on the line. That's all we hear from Biden. Could it be that maybe voters want something more than constant fear-mongering about the stakes of this election and how Trump is a threat to democracy? All we hear about from Democrats is how Trump is a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
How about maybe address the concerns of your voters?
Yeah, so I actually agree.
Yeah, so again, Anna, on point here, right? 100%. Okay, Cenk, the idiot, right, is the guy up here talking about, yeah, I would have recommended they do it earlier, to go out there and to overtly show that, hey, yeah, we're involved in this, right? That we have something to do with this. Stupid, dumb, right? I mean, this is why Cenk, when he ran for president, I don't even think did he even get 1% of the Democrat primary vote? Less than that, right? Probably not even 0.5%, okay? Democrats have nothing else outside of Trump is a threat to democracy. They have nothing else outside of, well, look at all these indictments against Trump. They have nothing else outside of, well, Trump is racist. They have nothing else outside of that. And because of that, that's all they focus on. That's all they focus on. But that message has been played out. That message has been abused to the point where it doesn't work anymore, right? It doesn't work. People aren't listening to it. They're tuning it out. As you guys saw in that video from CNN, people were like, yo, I care about the economy. I care about immigration. But here's the thing. Biden doesn't have any solutions for the economy. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do with the border either, because if he actually tried to close the border, then he get a ton of backlash from the progressives, right? And he's already faced a ton of backlash from them over this Israel-Gaza issue. This guy Biden is clueless. And so what happens when you're clueless and you're desperate, you do stuff like this, right? You roll out people like Robert De Niro and the crybaby police officers, right, from the Capitol. And, you know, you speak outside of Trump's hush money trial, not realizing that, oh, wait, you're actually confirming what everybody kind of thought about these trials, which is that, hey, they're political, that Biden's involved, that he has a stake in this. Again, an extremely stupid decision. And I'm happy that Anna actually can see that, right? Can actually see through the nonsense from the Democrats and their rhetoric and the fact that, hey, you know, this whole, the stakes of the election thing is just, it's just not working, right? It's just not working. It's played out.
Agree with that part. So let me explain. So guys, why is Biden only talking about the threat to democracy?
Because he's got nothing else.
Because everything else would involve his donors.
He doesn't even have that. Like, let's keep it 100. Again, when you look at the polls, when you talk about this issue of democracy, it's basically a wash, right? Because again, Democrats, I've already explained this 1,000 times, so I don't have to go over it. They have no room to lecture anybody on democracy, right? Democrats do not believe in democracy at all.
So for example, he could say, that's it, I'm ending the price gouging. This inflation was caused by these corporate sons of bitches that have been driving your prices up. Here, I have the receipts. Here's their calls during the stock market situation where they explain to the market, oh, how great we did. Here's all the gross.
It's an earnings call, Cenk. That's what it's called, an earnings call, right? That's what he's referring to.
Stores bragging about how they charge prices they didn't have to charge because the American consumer would pay it, ha 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 ha, and trying to get extra credit. He could do all of those things. He could go on the warpath on getting you more insurance. He never even proposed a public option, which he said he was going to propose. He could say, you know what, I'm negotiating drug prices on all drugs. Now what are you going to do about it? And have the Republicans go, no, and defend the drug companies. And that'll make them look terrible. There's right now, the oil companies are price gouging. He could attack the oil companies. That would be incredibly popular. It would be the most popular thing you could do because of gas prices. And then he would force Trump to defend the oil companies whose ass he was kissing the other day in a donor meetup, where he said to them, I'll deregulate. I'll let you guys do anything you want, and I'll give you tax cuts as long as you bribe me in the form of campaign contributions. He could do all of these amazing things. He's choosing not to do any of them because his donors forbid it.
Well, I mean, again, this is why I say this guy is just an idiot. It's like, yo, he actually has said all these things. He's accused big corporate America of price gouging. Okay, he's attacked the oil companies. They are price gouging, right? He's done all these things that you're talking about. Okay, what Cenk is basically saying is that, well, Biden needs to be more progressive, right? That's always the answer for these people. Be more progressive. But you know what Biden hasn't done? Biden hasn't come out here with an economic plan to cut spending. Biden hasn't come out with an economic plan to help with the supply chain, to help try to fight inflation by lowering the cost of production. Biden hasn't come out here and introduced some type of bill to help out with crime and policing, right? Biden hasn't come out and said that, hey, I'm going to close the border or that I'm going to deport some illegals, right? He hasn't come out here in support of real policies and solutions that could actually help them out, that could turn things around, that could put the country in a better place. He hasn't done that. Biden doesn't have anything except Trump a threat to democracy, and the progressives don't have anything but, well, you need to be more progressive. Well, the problem with this country is that it's too damn progressive. That's the problem. That's the issue. But again, the progressives don't understand that they're a part of the problem. People like Cenk is a part of the problem.
I mean, God, he could pick up 30 points with younger voters by just saying That's it. I'm not sending any more bombs to Israel.
Guys,
But he's not. He will never defy his donors. That's why Joe Biden has decided, I'm going to lose this election, but I don't care. It's all for my glory and the glory and power of my donors. So I would rather lose to Trump than upset them 1%. I will be their dog and their servant. So he does a dog and pony show here. But my only point, Anna, is better than what he's been doing, which is hiding in his stupid basement, not doing a goddamn thing. Do you know they do local events all the time? Because they think it's the 1990s and local news will pick it up and we'll pick up a lot of votes. Nobody's picking it up. Nobody cares about your stupid local events. It gets no coverage at all. Donald Trump sneezes and gets 200 times the coverage that you do. Why? Okay, I know this is gonna break your heart, but he says things in an interesting way, whether we like them or don't. I don't like them at all, but it picks up news coverage for his points.
Actually,
whereas Biden never says anything interesting, so it never picks up any news coverage. That's why he's got to send actors. He's like, I'm not interesting, but De Niro's interesting. Will you listen to him?
So, oh God, I have so many things to say. Let me address one of the last things you said about basically like how Biden campaigns versus Trump. Look, there was a lot of like mockery happening over the weekend because Trump got booed at a libertarian conference.
Yeah.
But I want you to also consider the fact that Trump was willing to speak before a libertarian conference and ask for their support.
Facts. The mainstream liberal media was kiki and ha-ha. Oh, Trump got booed. Okay, well, will Biden ever show up to a libertarian conference? Hell no. Will Biden show up to middle America and deep red America and actually do some type of conference or rally? Hell no. Hell no, he wouldn't do it. Again, they mock Trump for the Bronx rally. They mock him for the Libertarian rally. They're mocking Trump for reaching out to people that traditionally probably wouldn't vote for him. But that's what you're supposed to do when you're president of the United States. When you're running for president of the United States, you're not running for president of red America, right, or red states. You're running for president of the whole country, blue states included. So again, the media is mocking Trump for doing what a presidential candidate should be doing, which is to try to reach out to everybody in the country, not just his core supporters. Amazing.
Which is what you're supposed to do as a presidential candidate. So sure, you can mock him and make fun of him for getting booed, but at the same time, he's putting himself out there and trying to work every angle to win the election. I'm not seeing that from Biden. The other thing I want to just, go ahead, Cenk.
Real quick on that.
Bro, why you letting him talk? Don't let this guy talk, okay? My advice to Anna, stop letting this dude talk. You make good points, he's making terrible points. Anna should talk more, this guy should talk less.
I'm teaching my 13-year-old son basketball.
All right, I don't want to hear about that. Okay, so yeah, you get it. Anna Kasparian, trashing the Biden administration for rolling out Robert De Niro and the whole democracy thing. And also on top of that, making a note that, hey, you know, Trump going to the Libertarian event, doing the Bronx rally. These are things that Biden's not doing. And, you know, hey, this is what a former president's supposed to do. I mean, Biden is taking for granted the votes of people in these liberal cities and Democrat strongholds, and Trump is not doing that, right? Trump is trying to reach out to everybody, and I think that ultimately this is going to hurt Biden when it comes time to vote. Just like I think that this whole Robert De Niro stunt is going to backfire, because if Trump is actually, you know, found guilty, then, you know, I think it will be more reasons why people will say, well, this is political. This is more reasons for me not to care. The Biden campaign is involved. Like, this is not legitimate. I just think they're making all the wrong moves, man. I really do. I mean, I don't think there's anybody except the mainstream liberal media that agrees with anything that Biden is doing right now. And he's just messing it up. He really is. It's actually pretty hilarious to watch. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.